Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Formula Podcast. I am Gary Luima,
RJD.
and we got somebody here for you today. All right, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So, my name is Kwaku Darfour, and I'm an attorney that practices personal injury law here in Florida, and my main office is located in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm just here to rap with y'all today.
Most definitely. Thank you for taking time out your schedule to pull up with us. And Kwaku is a well-known person here in South Florida and throughout the state as well. And as I was coming up as an attorney, everybody kept asking me, do you know Kwaku? Do you know Kwaku? I'm like, no, I do not know who Kwaku is. But I finally met him, and I felt like I was, I made it. You know what I'm saying? I know who y'all talking about now. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted to get into some topics. Our podcast is The Formula. We're talking about business and things. And you already just broke down as far as what you do. You own a law firm. You practice personal injury law. And at the moment, you're doing it on your own, right?
Yes, I am a solo with a couple of counsel attorneys. Yes.
Good stuff. And you're dealing with all the challenges of being an entrepreneur, because practicing law and being an entrepreneur are two separate things. And we're going to dive deeper into that. So let's start off with how you started practicing the law. What drove you to go to law school, and what drove you again to start your own firm as well?
Okay. I mean, I'm going to keep it a buck. So it wasn't like a lot of people, I grew up, my parents, or I always wanted to be, mine wasn't like that. I was working in sales, and I was working in real estate. And 2008, a lot of people remember it was a real estate crisis. Everybody got laid off. There's no jobs to be had. So I said, at least I can go get a law degree and figure out what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
After I'm done with that, so that's how I ended up in law school. I knew they would pay for my school, pay for my room, so I didn't have to go get a job.
Good stuff.
And while I was there, then I figured out, all right, I think I want to own my own business. And at first, it wasn't a law firm, but what's the easiest business to own as a lawyer? It's a law firm.
Yeah.
Right. So that's kind of how that developed and evolved. And I shadowed somebody that was a good friend of mine who was a personal injury lawyer. I shadowed him while I was in law school, and then I came out and started my own thing.
Okay. Good stuff. Oh,
That's what's up, man. So did you just finish college and started your law firm right away, or what was that transition?
Not exactly, because I guess I don't know if it's unfortunate or fortunate. I would say unfortunately, I passed the bar on my first try, but there's two parts of getting into the bar. One is the test, and one is what they call character and fitness. And they didn't clear me right away. So even though I passed the bar in 2011, I had to wait till 2014 to get cleared. And so I went to DC in the interim and worked a real estate technology company in sales. I've always done sales before that, so I just kind of went back to where I fit in, where I knew. And once they, gave me my license, I basically came back down here to South Florida and opened up shop.
That's interesting. I never knew about that time period. I thought if you passed the bar, you're basically a lawyer.
Some people even wait a lot longer than that. So
really,
yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's what's up. So once you got in 2014, that's when you started your law firm.
That's when I started my firm. I moved back down here to South Florida. I didn't have a place to go, so my good friend, he had a house and he had a spare room, and he was like, well, there's nothing in there, but you can stay in the room. So I got a blow-up mattress and came and stayed in his room, and worked out of his living room for a few months.
So kind of just talk me through the process of getting your first client, because we all entrepreneurs here, man, and it's always good to have an idea of becoming an entrepreneur, but then you got to get that first client. So what was that like for you?
So for me, I've always known how to sell myself. So I just went about it the way I already knew, was selling myself, like what I'm capable of doing. I started, website, and you don't have to have a website to go get clients now, right? You just have to let people know what you do. So I just did that by way of social media and let people know what I do, put up information for them, basically what you call marketing, right? Facebook, back then it was pretty much Facebook. Not a lot of people were on Instagram. So Facebook, LinkedIn, and the association of Ghanaians that we have down here, I joined that group. So I kind of just got back in with the networks that I was familiar with down here and let them know what I do. And eventually somebody called me and said, hey, I need a lawyer. I was like, okay.
And it took off from there.
I wouldn't say it took off, but it started. It started from there.
Yeah. Oh, man. What was that moment for you as you're transitioning from waiting to get cleared, starting your firm, getting your first client? What was that moment where you realized this is something that can take off and move forward?
I would say when I got my first check for a car accident case. And I had been, doing other areas of the law and getting retainers, sometimes, slicing my retainers in half just to retain the client. But when I first got my first auto accident, and I think my attorney's fees on that was like $8,000. I didn't come from wealth, so like $8,000 just in one check. If I can get 10 more of these checks,
yeah,
you know what I mean, in a month, I'll be good.
Yeah.
So my eyes started opening up, and now I see that was like a little baby check, but when you've never earned in one check, not in a month, just like one check, that's something that I looked at like, okay, I can do this.
100%.
So
it sounded like you was practicing other types of law.
I call myself a door lawyer. Yeah.
I was talking about that last episode. Door law is that gas, man. It's gonna get you through.
Yeah,
it's gonna keep you going.
I did immigration. I did family law.
Yeah.
I did real estate.
Man.
I just didn't do criminal. That's the only one I couldn't do.
Boy, I don't blame you on that one. I took me a couple criminal cases, and because what happens is you're gonna be good at what you do, and then once you do that, they start referring their friends. But if your clients are the ones committing the crimes, their friends are most likely committing bigger crimes, and that's I'm happy you didn't go down that door. I had to say no to somebody. It got dangerous.
Yeah, I'm sure. I grew up in South Florida, and I have friends from all walks of life. I'll say that. And I didn't want to have friends come to me that I was going to represent. And then as it goes, it's 50-50 if you go to trial, and they end up, going behind bars and they look at me like it's your fault. So
Yeah, 100%.
I kind of just shied away from there, but I do a lot of other areas.
Yeah. So what? Like so now I'm kind of curious to figure out. All right, door lawyer. I heard this. I heard that concept a couple of times from not only Gary but even Marty mentioned that he is like a door lawyer. Any case that came in the door, he is a lawyer for.
Traffic tickets.
Oh yeah,
he was on it. But like, how did you come across to the point where it's like, okay, this is my lane?
Well, you have to decide, and some people don't. If you actually want to be considered at the top of your craft, you have to become a specialist. No one's going to take you seriously if, like, they go on your website, they see you're a solo and you have 10 different practice areas. If you're a big firm, yeah, you can have 10 different practice areas. But if you're, a solo, how in the heck can you get yourself to be that comfortable, right, and that knowledgeable in 10 different areas? You can't. So eventually I got to a point where I had enough cases in PI. I had enough in my pipeline. I knew what was going to be settling. So at some point, I just started taking only PI cases, and I would turn down everything else. So I'd finished the rest of the stuff that I had in the pipeline that wasn't PI, but I would only start accepting PI cases then after a while.
Okay. Did it ever get to a point where at one point you was taking PI cases and then you took like a different case outside of your firm and you was like, oh, damn, I should have just stuck to my guns? Or was it that you just stuck to it all the way through?
Yeah, you know what? Even I say within the last 3 years, somebody called me and I said, I don't practice in that area. And I tried to turn them down. I tried to quote them a high price as a retainer. They're like, oh, can you cut it? My brother, that type of thing. I said, no. I took a business case and my gut was telling me not to take the case. I took it. And he ended up paying me, well, he still owes me half of my fee. I never got.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I regret taking that case, you know, because I should have stuck to my guns.
Yeah, that is a huge thing because you only have so much time and effort that you can put into things. And again, we all want to be the masters of our craft. We all want to be the top dog in that regard. So saying no gives you that power, you know, to continue to carve out that lane. You know, because the second you start to veer off, it's easy to continue to veer off, and you never, you know, specialize and carve out that lane as well. So yeah,
There's a lot of older lawyers, seasoned lawyers that have general practices, you know, because they never kind of just dropped other practice areas. And so when someone's looking for someone like the best, they're going to go somewhere else, someone that specializes in one area, or maybe two areas. Even two, I think it's too much, you know, because we call it the practice of law, right? So you're practicing and getting better every day, every week, every month. You learn something new. No one ever knows everything, even in their practice area. You know?
Nah, that makes total sense because like even I've gone through that experience as well, where I took on a job outside of my world, and it's like
Stressful, right?
it's stressful, man, and I'm really big on performance. I'm an athlete. I grew up playing sports. I'm really big on performance, and I pride myself on high performance. And man, it just didn't go well, man. And that right there, that experience was like, okay, that's a lesson learned. That's a lesson learned. I'm gonna stick to my lane. I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say no, you know, which is hard sometimes because you're trying to, you know, sometimes you got
Trying to hustle, yeah.
you're trying to hustle, you know.
I get it.
But yeah, nah, for sure, man. I definitely relate to that as far as like going through it and being like, okay, that was a lesson learned. Let me just stick to my guns and just keep it going like that.
And you survived it. Hopefully, you know, the L wasn't too big of an L because you learn and you move on, right? It didn't collapse your business.
Yeah.
That's it. That's definitely a theme that we talk about consistently throughout our podcast is consistency. And if you want to be consistent, you got to have standard operating procedures, you know, and so you can replicate that success over and over and over again, right? So what are a few keys of consistency that you keep consistent throughout your firm, throughout your business, to help you replicate that success over and over again?
Okay, so we actually have a SOP file in the firm that every person that comes to the firm, right now we have a staff of 7, they have to read it before they start, which tells them what we expect as far as customer service, because we're really a customer service company, right? What we expect in terms of the quality of work, candor, you know, you have to trust each other.
Candor, you said candor?
Yeah, truth. Like you have to tell the truth. Like you can't hide something or lie, whether it's to team or to the client, right? Because once you lose someone's trust, you lose everything.
Yeah.
Right. So we make sure that we follow these procedures. When we retain a client, we send them a welcome package, letter, email. We have a rolling basis that my case manager knows I have to touch base with the client and the provider every 2 weeks, so that nothing falls through the cracks. Sometimes it does, but that would be an anomaly.
Yeah.
We also use a lot of technology, which is standard place, you know, for our new intakes. We make sure the second someone has expressed interest in hiring us, they get touched by an email or a text message or something within 15 minutes.
Oh, good.
Or a phone call. You know, so those things are things that we kind of just make sure that we keep doing, stay on top of. And then at the end, we make sure that it's automated as well, get a review, right? Because social proof is the best proof. And it's the best word of mouth.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. So being that you kind of touched on that a little bit, just keep it 100. Like, you know what I mean? You've been out here grinding. You've been out here doing your thing. And even though I'm not a lawyer, I definitely respect. You definitely an inspiration. Like you're a grinder. Like you on top of your thing. You know what I mean? You top of your game as far as like as an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? So as an entrepreneur as well, I always respect that. And sometimes I might be, you know, feeling like I don't really feel like grinding today, and then I might see a post from you, and I'm like, oh,
gotta get it.
You know what I mean? It kind of like charge you up a little bit. So, with that being said, like I want to know, like, did you have any certain mentors that you was able to draw certain kind of like standards, or even if it's somebody that you never even spoke to like that, where it's somebody that is an inspiration, like do you have either one of those, or do you want to?
For sure, you know,
Yeah.
probably I'll first say my pops, right?
Mm-hmm.
My pops was an immigrant here, and my pops came from another country where he was already pretty established.
Mm-hmm.
He was a diplomat, and when he came here, he kind of started from the bottom again. So I kind of saw that as a kid, as a teenager, and he didn't get a fair shake here because he didn't have the right papers, but he was so smart. So like I feel like, all right, well, I'm here, you know. That was always in the back of my head, like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta do very well because like he sacrificed, and my mom both, to come here, you know, and gave up a lot of opportunities. So that's one, you know, kind of influence, right, and mentor that I had. Another mentor I had is he's an attorney up in Palm Beach who I clerk with, personal injury lawyer. You know, he always told me, man, you're very smart. You're very personable. It's hard, but you can do it. And he always put me up on game. You know what I mean? And helped me out. And so yeah, he's Persian, right? Like he's not black. He's not, you know, he's Persian. And then another one is a Ghanaian lawyer down here named Samuel Yaboa, who has his own practice, his own shop. And I met him when I first started practicing. And he's always been someone that he doesn't hide the information, like keep the secrets. You know what I mean?
Gatekeeping, yeah.
Gatekeeping, yeah. He doesn't do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot of lawyers out here. I could name drop right now. Y'all know who y'all are. they hide the secrets.
Yeah.
You know, like and that's out of fear or what? Like, but you know, since you know people open doors for me, I try to do the same for other people as well.
Yeah.
That's 1,000. And I was at my barber today. I know we're talking about haircuts before. Yeah, I still go to the barber shop. It's for this. I can't get this right. But my barber's into photography, and he does like weddings and different events and different things. And he follows a particular influencer, photographing influencer. And he does a lot of great work. I'll shout him out. Reem, he did my engagement photo. Shout out to Reem one time. And he was like, Reem is on YouTube. Giving away the game.
All the game.
You know what I'm saying? He's telling them how to do this. This is what's going on. This is why I thought I did this. This is the lighting for this and all these different things. A real deep Q&A. He's like, why he giving away all this information? I'm like, it's like Michael Jordan and Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Mike is Mike, and Kobe tried to copy Mike, but Kobe ain't Mike. End of the day, you know, so you can give everybody the juice or whatever. You don't really got to gatekeep, you know, because end of the day, they're not you, you know, and they can't replicate you.
My soup's gonna be different from this soup.
I give you the recipe is gonna be different.
I give you the recipe, the ingredients, where to get them from,
everything.
You know what I'm saying? But my soup's gonna taste different.
That's it. Yo, and when you're down for it, I'll sell you the recipe. So I'm making money and you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So get down to it. Yeah.
But that's real though. I mean, like even like me as a photographer, when I first came down to Florida, I'm in the field. I'm like, I'm trying to learn. I'm what's up? Let me hold your bag. Like, I'm here to grind. Like I'm trying to get ahead. And like I've had gatekeepers, like people that like I'm working with, and they don't want to show me certain things. I'm like, bro, like I'm working for your company right now. I'm a representation of your company. So if I'm not performing well, it's not only a bad performance, it's gonna fall back on you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like, why are you like blocking us? And then like I met my mentor, and he just opened up. He's like, yo, this is exactly how you edit. This is exactly how you export your files, so that way you could send it to the magazines. Or like he literally showed me every single detail. Like literally invited me to his house and like showed me the whole scope of things.
It's a blessing, right? Because there's a lot of cats out here operating from a scarcity mindset. Exactly. I believe there's enough for all of us out here, right? Mm-hmm. And even there's an abundance out here. I operate from an abundance standpoint. So I don't, what is meant for you is going to come to you. Mm-hmm. I don't have to, you know, try and hold something back or not give you some information. Just what's meant for you is meant for you. What's meant for me is meant for me. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's how I operate, man. I got my partners out here that they're also killing it in the law. What's meant for them is meant for them. Mm-hmm. And what's meant for me is meant for me.
Yeah.
Nah, that's real, man. That's real. Got to get you a mentor, man. Was it any difficulty in finding a mentor, or what advice you would give as far as like finding a mentor, or even choosing one? What were some of the things you look for?
Just be you. You know what I mean? Because like your personality is not going to mesh with everybody. So I look for people that I want to go and hang out with outside of the office as well. Like I actually like being in their company, and they also like to be in my company. And it's not like a forced thing, like, oh, you're assigned this person. You know what I mean? Like how sometimes you go to a job, you're like, okay, this is your mentor. Like, I don't rock with him. You know what I mean? It's hard, it's awkward. You know what I mean? But if it's natural and you already, have the shared interest, and you know what I'm saying, y'all can talk to each other and vibe, then I think that's the best thing. Then also, shout out to Bob Simon. I just was listening to him yesterday. Bob's a lawyer out in Los Angeles, doing very well. Find someone whose lifestyle mimics what you want your lifestyle to be. Not just somebody that has made millions and millions and millions of dollars. Find someone whose lifestyle mimics how you picture your lifestyle being, or how you want it to be, and then see how they were managed to build that lifestyle while still working in that area.
I think that's big, bro.
Powerful.
I think that's a major key, bro. Like now that you said that, that's literally like that's one of my rules. Is I only work with people that inspire me. Anybody that's around me, I only try to stay around people that inspire me. Yeah. That's like one of my main mottos. Like that's it. But what you said about the lifestyle thing and like being able to chill with them outside of work, that's like super important, because it's like you're only gonna be working for like this period of time. Like outside, majority of the time, you're like
outside.
Yeah.
So you wanna actually want to link up with them. You know what I mean? You don't want to make it a chore. Like, man, I gotta see my mentor today. Like, who wants? You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, you want to be like, damn, we about to go play golf today, or we about to go go to the game and just chill and have a good time or whatever. Not like, well, I gotta check this off the box. All right, sat down with my mentor.
Yeah. Definitely puts you in a better position to receive what they have to say and then relate to what they have to say as well. For sure. Because you resonating with their lifestyle, resonating with what their beliefs as well. And that's how you create lifelong friendships, family right there. Yeah. 1,000. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's real talk, man. So like, as far as like, I know we're talking about personal injury law firm, right? And the thing is, it's like so many different personal injury lawyers out there, right? And it's basically the same thing over and over and over and over. So how do you separate yourself, or better yet, how do you stay innovative in a space that's just straight up law? It's basically the same thing over and over. Like, what does that look like as far as like just staying innovative and like being able to stay ahead of the curve as far as like honing your own space in this world?
So that's a good question, because like I said, there's so many PI firms out here. I think South Florida is probably the biggest market, or at least one of the two biggest markets for PI firms. Yeah. And you see a lot of big, huge firms spending a lot of money. I don't have those resources, so I gotta think sharper, quicker, smarter. I try to stay on top of technology. Every new cutting edge technology, I try to learn. All right, how can this enhance, myself, my staff? How can it make our jobs easier? And how can I implement it? You know what I mean? And then how do I, automate certain technologies, right? Some firms are still stuck in the 90s or 2000s where they have, all these bodies, but maybe I can do with one body what they need 3 bodies to do. Yeah. And that's where technology comes in. And then also I just try to have a personal touch. I'm myself, so you're not gonna get someone different when you come to my office than when you see me out. Yeah. You're getting the same person. I'm consistent. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the same. I'm gonna talk to you the same way I'm gonna talk to you about a case. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it real. This is what you're looking at. This is what you're facing. You know what I'm saying? And if you see me on the street, it's gonna be the same way. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you don't have to figure out like, who is this person? You know what I'm saying? Is this really him? You know what I mean? Is this how he really operates and works? That's how I am. And I think clients, at least they are receptive to that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not fake. I'm not gonna sell you a dream. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you it raw.
And that's what makes it easy to stay consistent because you're just being yourself. You know what I mean? You, like how you said about the candor thing. It's like, I'm going to keep it straight up real with you, but I'm going to be myself. You know what I mean? And that's like one of the biggest things for me, especially as a photographer going into this business and building the company. It's like, I remember, bro, because like, I remember when I got to a phase where I was almost too professional. Like, I was trying to be like super professional because I was like subconscious at the point. I'm like, oh, I'm from Florida. They probably think I'm thugged out or something like that. I had dreads at the time. I'm like, oh, they probably, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking all these other things. I got to a point where it's like, you know what? This is way too much hard. This is hard work, man. This is hard work.
Like you feel like you're fronting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you are fronting if you have to put on, right?
Yeah.
A good example is like how I dress. Sometimes I go into the office in my jeans, my kicks, and a white tee. Some people, oh, that's not professional. I'm not here to have you say that. Yeah. Oh, this is professional. That doesn't matter to me.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, what was the result that I got for the client?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let you know what the result is while I was wearing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Obviously, when you go to the courthouse, that's a different matter. But you know, if I go to events, I don't have to wear a suit and tie and be like this. You know what I mean? Like, I go how I want. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. You know, just how I feel that day.
And I feel like you get actually more, at least from my experience, like once I started just honing into who I am and just being comfortable being myself and like how you said, dressing and doing your swag the way, like people end up walking up to you like, yo, I like your shoes, I like your swag, like, yo, what's going on? Like, what you do? Like, oh, what we got to work together, bro. Like really connecting with you off of your personality, off your swag, off of like who you are type of thing. And those are like the type of clients that you actually want to work with because it's like, it's
real personal connection.
Mm-hmm. And that's 1,000%. If you don't mind, share a little anecdote. Just coming into the law, I was 26. I got barred, started my firm, and that's what I thought I had to do. So I went to all the bar association events. I wore the tie, I spoke the thing, because my whole thing, I'm in corporate law, and you're trusting a 20-something-year-old with your business, and these businesses have like 50, 100 employees that depend on them to make sure everything's right. So I thought I had to appear in that way. I thought I had to wear the tie. I had to speak like I'm typing, basically. You know what I'm saying? And then once I realized like I run the show here. You know what I'm saying? I am the standard of professionalism. You know, there's common decency, but when it comes to professionalism, I said what that bar is and what that looks like. You know, and again, like you guys are saying, once you become more authentic within yourself, it's easy to replicate because that's flowing easily from you. And you get to resonate with the people that resonate with you and rock with you, and that's how it grows. Yeah, you know, that's how it grows. Yeah.
So when did you make that change? How you feel like?
Made that change really early on in my career because, like, you know, you starting off like you trying to show up how you need to show up, but then when you get tired, you get tired of it. You know, your body gonna tell you like, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? You got to put on a face to go do different things and try to appear a different way. And then you put it down, you realize like I'm more than good enough, you know. And that's what it comes down to, you know. Yeah,
that's real, man. What you just said, bro. Recognizing that you're more than good enough. You know what I mean? Because you're like when I'm training a new photographer, new videographer, I always say, man, you got to be personable, but always be professional. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't be just trying to be super professional. Be yourself. Mm-hmm. I always encourage them to be themselves, but be professional. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Let them know because you have to lead. Yeah. They have to follow your lead. You just got to be professional enough for them to follow your lead, but you want to be personable where they trust you. Right, you know what I mean? Like they rock with you because that's something that you could like going to events. I'm walking up to people I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I got a job to do. Yeah. I got to get this shot. When I'm on the clock,
you're in a mode.
I'm in a mode. I got to turn. I'm gonna be 100% myself. Yeah, 100%. You know, and then when I'm in that zone, it's just the images, bro. It's just gonna look different because everybody's gonna see, like they'll say, "Oh, everybody look happy." It's because I was in that bit. Yeah.
I was there. Yeah.
Because when you are, you know, in your own element, doing your own thing, you show up in your business. Something you said earlier about making sure that communication is done correctly. Within 15 minutes, you get communication, and you said about every 2 weeks, that person gets something. The number one complaint that lawyers get from the bar or from their clients is, you didn't communicate enough. What's happening with my case? I don't know what's going on. So you resolve that. So I see that's a value of yours. What other values that you carry that is reflected back into your business as well?
So like I said, honesty. Not a lot, but there are attorneys out there that want to sell the pipe dream, or because they want to keep the client so bad, will promise them the moon and stars, right? That has never been a positive thing for me. So one thing I tell my staff and I practice is, do not sell them a dream. Tell them exactly what it is. If I don't think I can get X amount, and I'm going to tell you, if you go to trial, this is your chances. I don't think I can get X amount. I think this is the best that you're going to get. I'm telling you from a genuine place, not, oh man, let's go to trial because you can get $1 million. No, that's very, it's rare.
Yeah.
Right. So honesty and candor is one thing that I keep it, and like you said, there's been people going to complain. Some of the complaints will also be, hey, my attorney said X, Y, and Z, or my attorney promised X, Y, and Z. I don't make any promises, right? So that's another thing. I would also say just like the professionalism, right? Like, there's people that will let the client talk to them any which way. And you can't talk to me or my staff any which way.
Yeah.
So if you call and you're the only person out there, we don't have to have your business.
Yeah.
We're cool. We'll get the next one. But you're not going to disrespect myself or my staff.
Yeah.
Because we also make sure that we treat you with professionalism and we respect you. So that's also another thing.
Good stuff.
That's major, bro. That's major.
Yeah,
man.
I've turned down
That's
cases because clients have either disrespected me or disrespected my staff.
Wow.
Yeah. You got to have that, and then you only have that the confidence to do that when you have that confidence in yourself, so it can exude throughout your business, and in the way that you're moving throughout life, your business will as you reflect that into your business will continue to expand, and you'll reach that level of success that you dream about. You just got to be true to yourself.
Facts.
Yeah.
And having that confidence is important because even with you saying it, because I've been to the point where I was like I was like, okay, I let certain things slide, and I've gotten to the point where it's like, nah,
Yeah.
nah, I say no,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or I say, hey, nah, you can take your money back,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and it's just a
Standard.
different level of respect. It's just a different level of
Yeah.
everything is just
Standard. I've had in the last 2 months, I've had 2 clients who've caught themselves calling me and acting out of character. And I told them, hey, you can take your case somewhere else. And they called me back later like, oh, no, I want you to keep the case. What's up? I said, I really don't need your case, so you can take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
If it's a 6-figure case, you're not going to, disrespect me or come off, one way. And, they insisted that they retained me. But I'm hoping it's because they saw the value and not because someone else would take that case. Cause,
Yeah.
one of those was a case that I took from another firm.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's real. You want people that work with you, not where they put you in a position where they think that you're working for them.
Yeah.
So that's the best. Collaborative.
I mean, even though, yes, I do work for them, you're not going to disrespect my quality, my character, and my integrity, or impugn my integrity, or take away my dignity. It's just money at the end of the day.
yeah. Yeah.
Drop that word, impugn. Let's get it.
Yeah, but nah, man, that's respect is an important thing, man. Because honestly, I give the most respect as possible because man, disrespect is especially I'm from Jamaica, man. It's like
It's grounds for.
yeah, it's like
We about to knuckle. Let's see. We'll knuckle up. See what see what you made of, right?
Yeah.
You talking all the big talk, like
Yeah, keep that same energy.
keep the same energy.
And that respect is just so important, and it's just so important that it's reciprocated, and knowing when to walk away and say no. You know what? I don't need this case. You know what I mean? When do you feel like? Was it always like that in the beginning? What was that?
Oh no,
Nah.
Like I said, I was a door lawyer in the beginning, and I had to pay the rent still. So sometimes you gotta think like, dang, when's another one coming? Man, I gotta take this one and just kind of tiptoe around with the client, you know, because I gotta pay rent, I gotta eat, I gotta do this, and you know, obviously as an entrepreneur, Fridays come and go, and you don't see a check.
Yeah.
So you need to have that client or clients feeding you business for you to see a check. There's no every 2 weeks or every week. Like, here goes the 2,000, whatever, you know?
Let's touch on that, though, because that's a common problem amongst entrepreneurs. Number one problem with entrepreneurs is capital, access to capital. You need more money to do things. But then you don't have that, like you said, you don't have that timing of a paycheck. What kept you calm and steady to continue to pursue it? Because I've seen one common thing I've heard was, oh, your firm's going to fail in 6 months, right? 6 months to 9 months. That's like average as far as solo and things of that nature. What kept you going to have that faith that it's going to, your firm is going to produce the volume and the money that's producing now and the potential to go in the future?
Man, I mean, sometimes I didn't know to keep it a buck.
Yeah.
You know, but as every time that I was in a position, it always worked out. So after a couple of years, you're like, it's going to work out. Because every time I've been in that position, it's worked out. Something comes through. Like, I get a case. Somebody calls me on the sixth day, and I only had 7 days.
Yeah.
And on the sixth day, they called me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, you know, a case settled. Like, you know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere. So it's always worked out. In the 9 years, it's always worked out. And I'm still here.
Yeah.
So that's really what keeps, you know, me going. And the fact that when I started this, I know people thought I was going to fail because I had $500. That's what I had was $500 and a laptop. I didn't have a car, right? As y'all know, I didn't have a car out of choice for about 6 years. Yeah. But out of no choice, I didn't have a car. So what kept me going was like, damn, I know people think I was going to fail because I started. I'm going to show them.
Yeah.
That's major. You got to be built different. You got to be built a certain way to be able to do that, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I always say, man, you could say words. Words are easy to be said, but to live it and experience it and be like, yo, I got $500. Like I gotta this thing gotta work. This thing got to work. Like it's no.
I got one sandwich. I got one sandwich.
Yeah. One way.
A pub sub every 2 days.
Yeah. Every 2 days.
Yeah.
Ramen noodles.
6 inch.
I mean, I didn't have any I still don't have any family here, but I didn't have like a safety net, right? So I'm like, oh, if this don't work, I'm gonna go back home. That wasn't like an option. I had left DC to come to Florida. Yeah. So if this didn't work, I felt like the next step was I'm gonna get deported, and I don't want to get deported. Right? That's the same mindset I had when I was studying for the bar. If I don't pass, I'm gonna get deported. And I don't want to get deported. That's before I was a citizen, right? So that's kind of how I put my mind and started thinking in my head like, this has to work, and you know, it started working. Yeah,
that's definitely a common theme again among entrepreneurs. People who are long lasting, you know, had a sustainable success. It's just that you have to have a baseline of this has to work, and then when you're in that mindset, you'll find ways to make things work. And that energy, it is different because it takes some confidence. It takes a lot of confidence anyway to know that this is going to work out. Because businesses fold every day, you know, every day. Dude. Oh man, and I gotta find the statistics because like it's like 90% of business fail in the first year. And then and it just continues to get harder and harder year 2, year 5, year 10, and so on and so forth. But you got to have something that you're holding on to keep going because, and another thing too, a common thing I see as well, people who have success in business, sustainable success in business, they understand one fact, that statistics don't apply to them. You know, because statistically, you're talking about being a child of an immigrant, passing the bar, moving from one half of the country all the way to another side, getting into personal injury in South Florida. You could throw a rock outside right now and hit 50 injury lawyers before the rock hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? And then still be at the forefront of that. You got to have that faith, that confidence, be solid in yourself, have those values, and then implement those values and reflect those values in your business. And that's that formula right there. I see it. I see it in your firm, and I see it in you as well. It's good stuff.
Thank you, man. Yeah. Like my boy Palm Beach said to me, he's like, everybody can look at you though, but they don't know what kind of grit you have in your stomach. Mm-hmm. So that's one thing you can't measure. You can't bring a tape measure. You can't do a blood sample. You can't measure the type of grit that someone
got
has.
that dog in you.
Oh, hey, we talking about business. We talking about that grit, that grind, and being an entrepreneur. We just was talking about you don't have a guaranteed check, so you always thinking, you always working. Like a lot of times my friends be texting me while they at work, because you know when you got a job, you halfway working, you can text, you can vibe. When I'm locked in,
you like nah.
I'm locked in. I can't text or do nothing. Like I'm locked in for the next 4 hours. I'll call you later. But it's like balance. We balance. The balance of being able to like I just got engaged. You feel what I'm saying? And thank you, bro. Thank you. And it's like even me thinking about that and trying to balance out everything and like, okay, I'm working and then making time for her, this type of things. But it's like, how did you talk to me about the balance? How do you like balance out work, life? Because you know you got to get it. You don't have a guaranteed check coming. You got to force a check. You got to make a check happen. Ooh. So even if it's 2:00 in the morning and you got to wake up and knock out some stuff, you got to do it. So like when it comes to like balancing out, not only with you and your family, but you and yourself. You know, you hitting the gym. You know, you taking a walk, taking a break. Like, what does that look like? Did you have to implement any strategies, or you had to like be like, listen, I'm hitting the gym today. Like, what did that look like for you?
So I think that there was no balance for about maybe 5 years, right? I would still socialize, but as far as like, all right, working out and doing this, my health wasn't great. You know, it came to a point where I had actually went to the hospital because it was hard for me to breathe. Cholesterol was shooting up, and I had to change my lifestyle, change what I eat, start exercising, whether it's walking. I started walking and also working out in my office because there was a gym at the office I had. And then I come to a point where like, no matter what now, I don't work on the weekends, right? Because there's going to be work always for me to do. Yeah. No matter if I work 7 days a week, I'm not going to finish everything. So I just said, I'm not working on the weekends. I have to have some kind of balance. I got a 1-year-old son now. I'm not going to just let his childhood just pass by, right? I got family that I want to see, spend time with. I got trips that I want to make. So I find the time to do that. But what I have to do is make sure that it's a fine-tuned precision machine, right, within the business. So all the bottlenecks, I have to make sure I tackle those bottlenecks. There's all the little tweaks in the business, technology, automation, delegation. Once you do all that, you're freeing up your time, right? So now I can work to live, right? Not live to work.
That's a major key, bro.
Oh, that's deep right there.
That's a major key. Because you spoke about automations, but what you just touched on is delegation. And that means that's a team.
Yeah.
So, SOPs is good. Like, okay, you got process, but you got to implement these processes. You know what I mean? So, like, talk to me a little bit. And you could, I don't know if there's a shot clock that you had going on. I seen the shot clock. I don't know what that was. You just, a new shot clock. Okay.
The ball hit the rim.
Yeah. But now, like, I'm really now, because you mentioned the delegation and, like, even, you know, being able to work, you know what I mean, work to live. That's what you said, like work
Yeah.
to live. How do you go about team building? And even before we go into team building, how did you go about even choosing the right team members to be able to, because sometimes you bring on a team member and you end up exerting way more energy and time.
Yeah.
They supposed to lighten up your load. You exerting way more time. So like, what's some of the things that you look for, and what's some of the things you do to build that team?
All right. So great question, by the way. What I first started out doing is not looking for the right people, but started to look at the list of things that I shouldn't be doing that someone else could do, right? So whether it's administrative stuff, whether it's contacting insurance companies, adjusters, whether it's collecting medical records, whether it's social media, the things that I didn't need to do or was taking away my time, I said, all right, I need somebody for this role. I need somebody for that role. I need somebody to a receptionist, pick up the phone. I need someone to be the liaison between clients. And then I went and found people for those roles based on what their background was, based on what experience they had. And I gave them a very limited task. So I didn't overwhelm them with anything. You know, you start bringing on too much things for one person, it's like, man, they feel overwhelmed. But, you know, you tell, this is your task, this is your role, this is what you do, we're going to train you for it, I want you to be the best at it. And I incentivize my staff, right? So they know that they can make 2x of their salary by hitting certain bonuses every single month, right? So you can come into work and just get your salary, or if you really want to get it, you can hustle and make more.
Let's get right.
You know, money always incentivizes people.
Yeah,
that's a good incentive. That's a real good incentive. You know, that's definitely a real good incentive. I'm blessed to have a great team around me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
yeah, I told you that when we first linked up. That, you know what I mean, you got some good folks around you, man. You got the young genius, you know.
Yes, sir. With the shot clock.
Yeah, with the shot clock.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a blessing. But even finding them and connecting with them, that's like, bro, you giving these folks the formula right here, man. I hope they really like applying this right here and taking this in, because like it takes years and years of like messing up, bro.
I still mess up, right? But I try to recognize quicker, sooner now, when something's going left. Yeah. To stop it sooner, not to let it keep growing. And that's really through experience. Yeah. You know?
And that's real. And a lot of times, I was in that mindset too. Like, it takes a lot of energy to push that business and into that space, and then to find that balance. When was that key for you? Like, we're working 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. So like, when did you, what sparked you to move into a more balanced lifestyle, somewhere you can actually work to live versus just working to work?
My health.
Yeah.
I mean, I started on blood pressure medication. My cholesterol was high. You know, I'm only 42 now, so I was like, well, I have to have a better balanced lifestyle. My health has to be better. Yeah. And I can't let this stuff stress me out, because there was cases I would go to trial and lose, and it took me weeks, you know, to get myself, because I invested all myself in there. Yeah. I'm like, nah, I can't let that. This is a job or a career. Doesn't define who I am. A lot of times, you know, professionals, we get lost and we let our career, our job define who we are as people.
100%. 100%. Can't let that happen, because there's more to life than just this, you know.
At the end of the day, your family's not going to be like, man, he was the best dentist ever. They don't care.
They don't care about that. They remember the laughs.
They remember the laughs, the memories, all the good
times. How they made you feel, how you made them feel.
The trips.
Oh, man, I remember we got 18 awards.
None of that.
They won't remember one award. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So, you know, take it like that, yo. Your family doesn't care, you know, what accolades you get from your work.
Yeah.
Nah, 100%. So like now that we getting closer to wrapping everything up, we got audiences out here that want to, you know, start their business, start their law firm. You know, what kind of advice would you give to someone that's, you know, looking to start their own law firm? Like, what advice would you give to your Kwaku coming out straight, getting the bar, you know, waiting 3 years to get, you know what I mean, be able to practice law and starting your law firm? Like, what is one thing you will
just one
or two?
All right, I would say look for people that are going to pour into you and attach yourself to them, and have a nest egg. Have a nest egg.
What's the nest egg?
You gotta have some funds, some resources, right? To carry you along those rough times. Because as an entrepreneur, they will come.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah. 100%, man. I appreciate you being here with us, man, and coming through, kicking with us, giving us some game, and just vibing, bro. Like,
it's good being here, man. Thanks for the invite. We'll do it again.
Definitely. Before we clear it though, like, how can the people connect with you, connect with your law firm, and just like stay in touch, really?
So I'm on Instagram at Attorney Darfour, at Darfour Law. You can go to our website, www.darfourlaw.com. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Just look up my name, or you go to Google. Just type in Darfour, Darfoor, and you'll find me.
Cool.
Yes, sir. That's quite cool, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow my bro, man. He's definitely legit, real deal, one of the real ones. You know what I mean? He'll get you right on the Ghana rice. I forgot what they call it.
That jollof.
That jollof. He get you right on that jollof. I was at Harry Wings yesterday. He gets you some jollof rice. It'll change. I'm used to the rice and peas. You know, I'm Jamaican. I'm used to the rice
switch it up
and
a
peas
little
with the
bit.
Switch it up.
That D. Cole over there.
Yeah. I was on the edge. I'm like, you sure this rice is good? He's like, trust me, dog. I like, bro.
We're not gonna lead you astray.
Man, it was a good decision.
Yeah.
Bet.
Yeah.
100, man.
Real, man. But I appreciate you, bro.
1,000. Thanks for coming on our show. And again, this is the formula where the constant is you.
Yes, sir.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Thanks, man. That was great.
Yeah, man.